Hey everybody, welcome to KastorCorner.com. I am your host Khalil, here for another toy of the day. Another one of our sponsored diamond ones. They were nice enough to send stuff over, so this is definitely a review that they sent over the item for. And fresh out of the box, just opened this thing. Haven't really played around with it, so you're going to see me kind of go through the paces and see where else I can find good things and bad things. I like to balance out my reviews for sure. So go to KastorCorner.com for a full gallery of this figure. You can follow us. We are at Kastor's Corner on all social media. And you can check out the Cornercast podcast every Monday night up on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to that too. Subscribe to this channel. Just keep subscribing. The more of you that are part of it, you know the routine. I'll say it at the end. So right now what we have is the brand new Diamond Select, Marvel Select, Diamond Select Toys, Marvel Select Taskmaster from the Black Widow movie. It really does capture the actual look of the character from the film, closer than the Legends. The Legends figure is good, but they didn't get all the designs right. This is much closer and on model to the actual movie look. It's probably because they had a little more time to work on it, which is great. Lots of articulation, lots of accessories. So you get fists, right? And I'm going to stay away from spoilers. So I'm not going to tell you who's under the mask. You have to go watch Black Widow to see that. But we will talk about the functionality of the costume itself. You've got fists. You've got another hand, a grip hand here. They come with the, not technically Wakandan claws, but like, and you can't, the shoulders don't go far enough, close. You can't get them to do this where they open up. But this figure does come with alternate hands that have the claws on them, to replicate that fight with, from the trailer, with Red Guardian. And then you have another grip hand. So you've got two grip hands, a fist, and then two clawed hands. I think, the only thing missing, that the other Taskmaster that we did a few weeks ago, that we bought from the Disney store, had was the arrow pull, because this figure does come with another bow, which is great. It's a bow without an arrow attached. Diamond can do it. I don't know why other companies can't. So you've got the standard bow here, and I am going to do my best because I haven't warmed up the figure. So definitely can carry the bow to mimic Hawkeye. Can definitely carry an arrow. You can see comes with two arrows. They're both the same. No difference in these arrow tips. But we don't have that bow pull hand that would look good with this figure. But really, there's only one scene from the trailer where we actually see Taskmaster pull that, and the arrow they use is, I think, a little bit bigger than this. I wonder if... Hold on a second. I watched another review earlier that said that you can't do this, but they clearly... The hype clearly about this figure didn't anticipate using one of the claw hands. If you use one of the claw hands, you can get the start of a arrow pose. So you can do that. And that claw hand, even though it looks like that, can pull back. If I can get it in the right position. The problem is the torso and the shoulders don't really allow for this, but you can get it pulled a little bit. So you can start that pose if you can twist it. Yeah. So one of the things is they've got this giant belt here. And that does limit movement of the upper torso a little bit. But you can start to get a bow and arrow pose with this guy. I'm determined to get it, I'm telling you. There we go. That's the start of one. I think that looks pretty good, honestly. So you can get him into that pose if you use one of the claw hands for sure. So there's that. We also come with, trying to see, we're going to switch these out. We're going to give him, her, it. No spoilers here. If I refer to him or her, it's because I'm used to the comic books. So I'm just going to keep switching it up and switching off what we call them. I think that sword personally is a little bit short. I think it could have been a little bit bigger, just a little bit, if I remember correctly from the film. And then you get the Taskmaster shield, which is thrown around and used a lot by this character. Less like Captain America, but a lot more use out of it. So you get a pretty good representation of the movie character with this figure for sure. And I think it really does capture that movie look and that feel from the film of mysteriousness and threatening nature of the Taskmaster here. Really good movie. I really enjoyed it. I think Yelena was definitely the standout. I think David Harbour's Red Guardian also killed it in a lot of ways and did an amazing job. So I am down for more of the Black Widow universe for sure. I just flipped that around. You can see, you can flip it around so it's closer or further away from the forearm, but I think that looks a lot better. So it wouldn't be a good toy review if I didn't talk about a few little nitpicks here and there. While I do believe that this is probably one of the best representations toy-wise out there for it, size, articulation points, ability to pose, all really good. That's all really good. What they tried to do here was to give more flexibility to the lower body. In doing that, though, they gave drop-down hips. So those legs that you can pull down the hip a little bit and get a better range of motion, so it doesn't get caught up on these things. The problem is the placement of the peg within the crotch region is lower than it needed to be, which creates a little bit of a gap in the hips. So if you are a figure poser that poses your figures, haha, that's an inside joke. Some of you will get that if you're a poser. If you're a poser here of figures and they just stand straight like that, you can see this hip gap here. And that comes from the fact that the center pole that connects these two legs is a lot lower on that hip. And you can get them pushed up just a little bit, but you're still going to have that gap. I don't think it's a deal breaker unless you're going to just pose it statically. And if you do, all you have to do to kind of negate that or to change that a little bit is to give it the, as we have termed it, the Jay Hernandez walk. And you kind of eliminate that visual of the hips being in the wrong spot or being too low, because you can pose the character like this. Looks pretty badass, and you kind of negate that extra gap there. But if you're going to just static pose straight up and down, you're going to see that. I'd say that's my only gripe. That's my only criticism of the whole figure. Joints are nice and tight. They don't feel like they're going to break. You get a decent range of motion, even with all the armored pieces. You've got the extra accessories, fully armored Taskmaster here, and honestly, like, that just looks gorgeous. I think that just looks really good. And you can't beat it for the price. I think it's like $29 compared to some of the import toys and stuff like that. So you get a really good look at it. My only regret is the limited number of figures that Diamond does per year. I really wish that we could see a hero to go along with it. And we've seen Black Widows before. I really wish we had a Yelena figure. I think that would have looked really good. Or if we had a David Harbour figure, Red Guardian figure, I think equally those two done in Diamond by Diamond Select would have been amazing. But I understand they did a comic Taskmaster, and then they did this movie version. And I'm perfectly happy with it. Although an alternate head with some display things on there would have been really cool too. But I'm sure some of you that do Photoshop could kind of Photoshop that in for your figure. But you can see just the hips drop. Other than that, solid figure, no issues there, no breakage issues. And even though those pegs there down there feel a little bit loose, once you get them into the pocket, they really hold really well. They don't once if they're out of the pocket, they do this, but if they're in there, they hold pretty solid. So, I would say that would be my only criticism for an all-around great figure. So you can pick this up at your local comic shop. Go watch the movie. It's amazing. And thank you again to Diamond and Zach and all the guys over there and ladies that bring us these wonderful toys. We really appreciate you sending this over for review. You can check out a full gallery of Taskmaster up on our website, castorscorner.com. And you can follow us. We are at Kastor's Corner on all social media. And you can check out the Cornercast podcast every Monday night. And you can subscribe to that and this channel somewhere down here. Either Taskmaster or over here. Subscribe. More of you that subscribe, the more cool things we get to do. And then we get to share them with you. And really, that's the most fun part of this job, is sharing this experience with you guys and creating this community. So thank you guys for watching. And join us for tomorrow for another toy of the day here on castorscorner.com. Have a good night, everybody.